Would you go into the private sector, or is the plan to stay in politics forever?
I didn't plan to become a politician. So I don't know if I can say I'd plan to go into the private sector.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people live their life that way. Like, what are you going to be doing in the next 5 years? What are you going to be doing in the next 10 years? Activism found me, and I haven't been able to leave it ever since.
Yeah.
So I don't know if what my path would be in the next 10 years, but I'm currently committed to the activism that I'm pursuing, and I'm pursuing that activism within the EFF.
There need to be symbolism of some sort that calls you.
Yeah. Then there need to be something, the ANC, for example, when it, just before it assumed power and after it assumed power in 1994, it went on a deliberate program to send its cadres to education, like go and study in Oxford, go and study in Sussex, go and accumulate knowledge in commerce, in trade, in engineering, so that by the time we govern, you have people who are capacitated to execute certain tasks in certain spheres. I don't know how well we did at that. The late Thambo was a product of such programs. The late former President Thambo was a product of such programs. Your Trevor Manuels and all of those likes of people, they seem to have returned with an affinity to your macroeconomic type of politics, market fundamentalism, and that type of capitalistic orientation. But the program in itself is something that the EFF has had a conversation about, and I think it's part and parcel of some of the resolutions as well from our Third National People's Assembly, that we must develop mentorship and educational programs. So if in the near future or distant future, the EFF were to have a program where they deploy people to the private sector, perhaps that's a method, or deploy people to be trained to be able to acclimatize themselves with private sector or market type of situations and environments. Perhaps that would be a situation, but whatever I do in the near future will always be related to the EFF and activism in the pursuit of liberating African people.
Do you think money is dangerous? So the ANC, I'd like to assume, deployed people into the business sector.
Yes.
To collaborate is what initially it was meant to be with some of the players there for the benefit of the African National Congress and hopefully black people. If the EFF were to embark on programs where they're sending people to study abroad, to join the private sector, is there no danger in money corrupting? Does money corrupt? Absolutely, like power?
Look, it does. It depends on the type of people you send into that sphere and the caliber of their character. If you're corruptible, you're corruptible.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about it. So, of course, the organization will make an assessment that there are these individuals that we think we've groomed from a certain age. The party policy and party ideology is ingrained in their blood. So we regard these certain individuals as incorruptible, as people who are going to pursue the mandate of the EFF wherever they go. If they return compromised, then that is out of our control. But politics is also a level of faith.
Okay.
There must be a level of faith in what you do and the programs you set out on achieving.
Why black people? Why are you passionate about black people and advancing black people?
Look, history tells us that this is a grouping of people that has historically been oppressed, historically been marginalized, excluded from the formal heights of the economy, qualifications. So we've always been at the center and at the yoke of exclusion. So it's about reversing those patterns. If black people were not subjected to apartheid or subjects of colonial conquest, made to be slaves and people who are serving the white minority race in Africa, but not only in Africa, but in the world, wherever black people live, there has been a certain level of discrimination against them. If that history didn't exist, then there wouldn't be a necessity for a passion to fight for black people. So that's what informs the passion that we have towards black people. And that passion and love for black people does not equate to hatred for white people. And that's something that is commonly construed about the economic freedom fighters. I don't have any personal problem with a white person. We're not in an intention to drive white people to the sea or anything of that nature. So we have to love black people because they haven't been loved historically. So someone has to do it.